He came up the garden walk to the swinging gate without slowing, closing the distance in huge, loping strides, slammed the gate back as if annoyed that it had not opened of its own accord, and continued on toward the manor house. He looked neither left nor right at the profusion of summertime flowers that were blooming in their meticulously raked beds, on the carefully pruned bushes and along the newly painted trellises. He did not bother to breathe in the fragrant smells that filled the warm upstate New York morning air. He failed to give a moment's notice to the pair of robins singing on the low branches of the old shagbark hickory centered on the sweeping lawn leading up to the manor house. Ignoring all, he galloped along with the single-mindedness of a charging rhino. From the assembly hall, at the base of the slope below the manor house, came the sound of voices, rising up like an angry swarm of bees. Horris's thick eyebrows furrowed darkly over his narrow, hooked nose, a pair of fuzzy caterpillars laboriously working their way toward a meeting. Bigger was still trying to reason with the faithful, he supposed. Trying to reason with the once faithful, he amended. It wouldn't work, of course. Nothing would now. That was the trouble with confessions. Once given, you couldn't take them back. Simple logic, the lesson 1,000 charlatans had been taught at the cost of their lives, and Bigger had somehow missed it. Horris gritted his teeth. What had that idiot been thinking? He closed on the manor house with furious determination, the shouts from the assembly hall chasing after him, elevated suddenly to a frightening new pitch. They would be coming soon. The whole bunch of them, the faithful of so many months, become a horde of unreasoning ingrates who would rip him limb from limb if they got their hands on him. Horris stopped abruptly at the foot of the steps leading up to the veranda that ran the entire length of the gleaming home, and thought about what he was losing. His narrow shoulders sagged, his disjointed body slumped, and his Adam's apple bobbed like a cork in water as he swallowed his disappointment. 5 years of work gone. Gone in an instant's time. Gone like the light of a candle snuffed. He could not believe it. He had worked so hard. He shook his head and sighed. Well, there were other fish in the ocean, he supposed, and other oceans to fish. He clumped up the steps, his size 16s slapping against the wooden risers like clown shoes. He was looking around now, looking because this was the last chance he would get. He would never see this house again, this colonial treasure he had come to love so much, this wonderful old revolutionary American mansion, so carefully restored, so lovingly refurbished, just for him. Fallen into ruin on land given over to hunting and snow sports, deep in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, not 50 miles off the toll road linking Utica and Syracuse. It had been all but forgotten until Horris had rediscovered it. Horris had a sense of the importance of history, and he admired and coveted things historical, especially when yesterday and today could be tied together for his personal gain. Scatmandu had allowed him to combine the two, making the history of this house and land a nice, neat package tied up at Horris's feet, waiting to be opened. But now, Scatmandu was history himself. Horris stopped the second time at the door, seething. All because of Bigger. He was going to lose it all because of Bigger and his big mouth. It was inconceivable. The 50 acres that formed the retreat, the manor house, the guest house, the assembly hall, the tennis courts, the stables, horses, attendants, cars, private plane, bank accounts, everything. He wouldn't be able to salvage any of it. It was all in the foundation's name, the tax-sheltered Scatmandu Foundation, and he couldn't get to any of it in time. The trustees would see to that quick enough once they learned what had happened. Sure, there was the money in the Swiss bank accounts, but that wouldn't make up for the collapse of his empire. Other fish in the ocean, he repeated silently. But why did he have to go fishing again, for pity's sake? He kicked at the wicker chair next to the door and sent it flying, wishing with all his heart that he could do the same to Bigger.